look around. It looks like it's a now sizable tornado. If you see anybody outside, tell them to get inside right now.
Now it's doing major damage in Tuscaloosa.
We were watching this come into a metropolitan area.
Jesus help them.
It was horrendous.
Oh, no.
Wow. All I could think about was, is this thing coming for me?
This thing is huge.
It was utterly terrifying.
Coming out of the campus buildings.
You could feel the power of this monster.
Go the back. I'm not kidding.
It was right on top of us.
That's that tornado right there.
It looked like it had a mind, that it had personality. It was the scariest moment of my life.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
We had severe weather that morning between 3:30 and 9 o'clock, and during that time, 5 people were killed and 250,000 people had no power.
National Weather Service notified me that Tuscaloosa had a 40% plus chance of being hit by a tornado.
It's important that we take heed of this, and hopefully Tuscaloosa will come out unscathed, but it doesn't hurt for us to be prepared and ready for what lies ahead in the next few hours.
At that point, I decided to go ahead and activate the city's incident command system, which is basically our emergency protocols.
I love working in the emergency department because you have the opportunity to take care of people. It was a typical day in the emergency department, typical patients that we get every day. One of the paramedics mentioned that bad weather was coming in. One of the nurses and I walked outside, and it was a beautiful day. The sun was shining.
The problem we were facing was the fact that the sun popped out. And then you had a lot of people saying, well, everything's going to be okay.
This is the kind of stuff where we really ask you to pay attention.
The fact that the sun is out is the worst possible thing because that makes the air more buoyant and unstable.
The temperatures continue to warm. The instability increases, and again, a lot of the severe weather parameters are just off the charts today.
Looking at the data, we have a checklist of about 64 parameters that you need for a tornado. We had about 60 of the 64, they were just screaming, almost an extreme range.
That any of these storms could erupt and go severe in a heartbeat. And
all of a sudden, the atmosphere just started changing, the wind picked up, got dark. We knew we had something big coming.
That particular day, we weren't doing anything special. We'd actually had a couple of days of thunderstorms, and a very good friend of mine, Josh, had been shooting. He was just playing around with a new video camera that I'd gotten not too long ago and was just trying to catch lightning. We had seen some of the stuff on the news about, potential tornadoes, but that's kind of something that we get almost every single day during the summer. So it wasn't really something that we really fretted too much about. I went to go out to the front yard, and I looked towards the front of my house where I saw my friend, and he was like, "Look right over there."
Holy.
You could just see movement and velocity. We knew that there was something going on around us that wasn't normal.
We want you to be in a safe place right now. All of these storms are extremely dangerous today.
I think some of the real heroes were our people in the field. If we just showed radar, for a lot of people, it looks like a bucket of spill paint. But you show a live stream, I will tell you, people will do something.
Let's look at the live stream. We've got John Brown and Mike Wilhelm, two of our better sky watchers.
I work for the state of Alabama, Department of Human Resources. I've stayed in touch with weather and studied it a lot for probably about 25 years.
Oh, yeah, look at that thing. I see a little finger. Whoa, hydroplane.
I work with sky watchers for ABC 3340, and we were quite confident that there was a storm that was making aim on Tuscaloosa.
It's rotating for sure.
That is lowering. I see a few little fingers there.
And that particular day, every storm was isolated, and it was maintaining strength, and it was rotating. It's starting to come into view. It's coming down to a point.
It's right there in front of us. Right in front.
We were looking at the storm, and John says, Mike, a lot of people are going to die today, and they just don't know it yet.
I am a student at the University of Alabama studying journalism. For about 6 years, I've been working at a local TV station in Tuscaloosa. It was while I was in one of my classes that we started getting word that the weather was going to be a little rougher than we thought, and so my professor asked if the station needed me, and at that point, I was able to go to the station, and that's when things really started to progress.
West Alabama is bracing for more stormy weather.
And the same system has already been blamed for several deaths and destroying many businesses and homes all across the South. For the latest now.
I'm the news director and anchor at WVUA-TV. Being the news person, people are asking you, Lynn, is this going to be as bad as people say it is? And you really don't have any answers. It's really not in your hands. At the same time, you're having to think about your own personal safety. This potentially could hit the building where we are right now.
So again, get in the lowest floor of your home, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible.
We had converged in the studio to watch the tower camera, and we saw the tornado come down, take shape, and it became fairly large.
Don't take a chance with this thing. This is obviously a very dangerous situation, what we're looking at.
But then in just a few moments, we saw it lift back up, and it goes back up into the clouds.
And yeah, it looks like it's lifting.
You could feel that collective sigh of relief.
It appears that it's not on the ground at this second, but...
And I said, it's going to get angry and come back down even worse. And in just a couple minutes, it did exactly that.
Looks like it's now touching down just to the west of Tuscaloosa. Yeah, we see power flashes, so we have an emergency situation. This tornado is now on the ground. It looks like it's a now sizable tornado. We're watching live. This is coming right towards Tuscaloosa.
Calling a tornado emergency for Tuscaloosa and Northport. And again, this is a very serious situation. So if you are watching us...
I've lived in Tuscaloosa pretty much my entire life. I was out of school working for my dad at the time.
We got something on fire. Fires. The new tornado in New York and Suffolk County moving northeast at 55. It probably is a fire. It's a lightning.
I had one of my friends, Nate Hewitt, with me.
Oh my God! Look at that fire. And again, it looks like that is raging.
The storm was pretty bad, and so we had actually left work a little bit early.
So that's what you're going to get today. I wish these trees would go away.
Personally driving, I couldn't see the storm that well. However, after the trees move, it becomes apparent that the storm is coming directly at us.
Holy, there it freaking is. That thing is massive. We need to go faster. It's coming right at us. No, keep it straight, keep it straight. Never in my life will I see this again.
Oh my God.
From where we were sitting on the interstate, having no idea where the storm's actually going. I didn't really realize the severity of the situation.
You can see debris in the air. That thing is half a mile wide.
Once I actually looked over, I didn't realize that we were nearly as close as we were when it was right on top of us.
We need to go that way.
We're fine.
Go the back. I'm not kidding. Debris in the air. Never in my life will I see this again. Oh my God. We need to go that way.
We're fine.
Go the back. I'm not kidding.
Nate felt like we were too close, and that's when we probably went about half a mile in reverse down the wrong way on the interstate to get us far enough away from the storm.
It's crossing the interstate right where we were. Oh my God.
it became apparent as to exactly how much damage was being done.
You can see huge debris.
You can actually see what appears to be full-length 2x4s. I mean, just everything and anything had been sucked up and was spiraling around a half-mile circle.
Oh my God. That thing is destroying everything. It's going right up the
Greene County and the other reports we've had, this thing is clearly a large, violent tornado that is down on the ground.
I tried to indicate that this is a genuine emergency. This is not a false alarm.
This is an extremely violent situation. Notice the power flashes.
It's very hard to stay composed on the air because you know that if many people don't do anything in the path of that, there's a good chance they're going to lose their life.
I want everybody in the city limits of Tuscaloosa to stay sheltered.
I have a wife and 2 children, but you cannot be fatigued, you cannot be distracted, you cannot be emotional.
Nobody should be on campus walking, nobody should be driving.
Oh, no.
This was different on a lot of levels. You don't normally see a very clearly defined funnel like you did with that tornado. Had multiple vortices, meaning there was a lot of small funnel-like shapes that circulated around the outside of the tornado itself.
Debris everywhere. Now it's doing major damage in Tuscaloosa.
As we were standing there, we were watching this come into a metropolitan area.
Not good, Mike. No, it's going to destroy a big chunk of Tuscaloosa. Jesus, help him. Help him be in safety, please.
It was just obvious it was a horrendous situation.
Oh, no.
That is nuts. Look at that thing. I am an on-air personality program director for a radio station. All of a sudden, they started blaring the sirens.
Oh.